Colter Wall has released his fourth album, third if you consider Imaginary Appalachia an EP, and it's time to talk about it. So, this is Colter's fourth album, as I already said. Colter Wall is an artist from Saskatchewan, Canada, who's really blown up over the last few years for his incredibly distinct, low voice, matched with arguably the most traditional production you will get. But on the topic of this album, I think it is a very good Colter Wall record. The album opens up with, in my opinion, the best produced song, the title track of the album, Western Swingin' Waltzes. I love the array of instruments playing a part throughout this track, but it's never overloaded. It has been put together very intelligently, so everything gets its chance to shine without casting a shadow on any other parts. I mean, you've got all sorts of instruments on this song, from light but highly effective drums, acoustic guitar, the dreamy steel guitar, the electric guitar, harmonica, the fiddle. The piano plays a big part in the chorus, really giving it that honky-tonk rhythm. Just a phenomenally produced song. And not to mention Colter's songwriting, he has a way of painting a picture with words unlike most people in the entire industry today. Other highlights on this album include the Big Iron cover, which, again, in my opinion, is impeccably produced, but it just fits Colter's style so well. It's a Western song with a dark, murderous story being told. He absolutely knocked that one out of the park. And I also really enjoyed the seventh track, Talkin, Prairie Boy. It's a funny song that Colter made funnier with his delivery. I think him talking in a very monotone voice, as opposed to singing, really adds a layer of humor, especially given the story, which is the least qualified boy applying for a job, but also saying he doesn't want to do any hard work. Specifically the line where he says, "I said, what are you good for?" Is just delivered in a way only Colter could. On a funnier note, I just can't get it out of my head that this song really sounds like The Truck Got Stuck by Corblund. If you know that song, comment if you can hear the resemblance. If you don't, do yourself a favor, look it up. It's a really funny song. In general, this album finds strength and stability in the lyrics and songwriting. The traditional production from the legendary Dave Cobb really allows you to focus your attention on the stories being told. Because every song on this album is a story. I think that's something very unique to Colter, the content of his songs. They're not driven by a thought or a question. They're more like just him telling a story through music. You listen to tracks like Big Iron, where just like a story, the first half is introducing the characters and letting you get to know them a bit, before the climax, which is obviously the standoff. This build-up makes the climax more impactful when you get connected to the story and characters involved, and that's something you really don't get anywhere else except for Colter Wall. Those are my highlights. Overall, I think this album does exactly what it meant to do really well. It's exactly what the title says. These are just short, punchy, campfire-style songs, all compacted into one very brief 34-minute record. It packs a punch in a short amount of time. It accomplishes everything it's supposed to with no unnecessary length or tracks that don't fit. I think it's a great selection of songs, seeing as Colter only wrote a handful, but he made it work together as an album really well. I do want to point that out. I think my only real issue with this album is the production is inconsistent at a few points throughout. For example, you start with the fantastic opener, Western Swingin' Waltzes, with production on point, but then the production kind of disappears on the follow-up, I Ride an Old Paint and Leave in Cheyenne. It sounds like they went from a nice studio to recording on a phone. However, that's not the worst part. I find the lowest point on the album found on Diamond Joe. Right off the bat, the fiddle sounds like it's being recorded on a phone in a school gym. The quality is ringy, the fiddle feels distant, and the backup vocal suffers from the exact same issue. The backup vocal sounds, again, ringy and echoey, and behind Colter's lead, it just takes away from both, because at times it's almost overpowering due to the poor mix. So I know I rambled on a bit about the worst parts of this record, but that is only 2 songs, and one of them is only slightly impacted by that. On the whole, I think this is a great record. It will please his fan base. If you like that traditional sound, that older stuff, I think you will love this record. Rating-wise, I'm going to give this one an 8 out of 10. Be sure to let me know in the comments what you thought of this album. Drop a like, subscribe if you want, and yeah, have a great day.